Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Jamie. Let's get to crafting. For this first DIY, I'm starting off with this piece of scrap wood I had in my garage, which is pretty perfect because I didn't even have to cut it. I found it like this. But if you don't have any scrap wood, using one of those really long Dollar Tree signs will work just fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some elephant chalk paint and I'm going to give this one coat. I also paint the edges of my project, but I don't paint the backside because nobody is going to see it anyway. But if you want to paint the backside, feel free to do so, friends. Now, going in with my white chalk paint, I am just taking my chip brush and I'm doing one coat over the elephant chalk paint, and I don't want to have full coverage. You just do this going back and forth with your paintbrush until your eyes are happy. So I'm going for a very rustic farmhouse look for this project, which is inspired by the very great George Strait. His song, A Love Without End, Amen, popped into my head when searching for ideas, and I just love this song. It's one of my favorites of his. So of course, when I thought of this song, I knew what I had to do. I had to make this project. Now, I know a lot of you don't have a Cricut or a Silhouette. This project can be easily done with stencils from Walmart, Dollar Tree, wherever you can find stencils, or you can freehand it if you want to. Very easy to do. But I had just gotten a Cricut. I actually got the Cricut Explorer Air 2 for Christmas. My husband lovingly had gotten it for me for Christmas. I was so excited that I really wanted this project to be the first one I did to try it out. So I was really happy with this one. Next, I'm going to be using this eucalyptus that I've had in my stash and some of these fake yellow roses. I'm pretty sure I got them from Dollar Tree. And I'm also sure that George Strait is from Texas, and with the whole yellow rose of Texas, seemed kind of fitting. So I'm just going to be attaching these with some hot glue. I'm also going to be using this jute twine. I had picked this one up from Walmart, but you can also get it over at Dollar Tree as well. I just wrapped it around the bottom of my board about several times and then just secured it with some hot glue. And finally, I just add in this wooden Dollar Tree heart that I had in my stash, and I'm just going to attach that with some hot glue, and then this project is finished. Hey friends, this video is part of the DIY challenge hosted by Heidi Sonboul. She hosts these challenges monthly, and this month the theme is Valentine's. I will leave her link to her channel down below, as well as the link to the playlist of everyone participating in this challenge. For this next DIY, I'm using this Dollar Tree sign that I had just picked up, and I'm gonna leave the hanger on there, but of course I removed the tag, and I'm just using my Dollar Tree sanding sponge and removing all the glitter. Using this painter's tape, I am just going to cover up the wood edges. I really like those edges and I'd like to leave them alone. Then I take this outside and I gave it multiple coats of this chalkboard paint by, what did I say, Krylon. And once that was completely dry, I'm just taking some chalk and I'm going to, I think it's priming your chalkboard. But unfortunately, what was happening was these words were not going away. I don't know what happened. I even took this into my garage and I sanded it with my palm sander and 80 grit sandpaper. Those words weren't going anywhere. And every time I would try to prime this chalkboard, the words just kept popping back up. So I altered my plans. I thought, okay, I'm going to work with this. And I had to just switch gears really quick and I wiped a lot of it off. And then I ended up taking this, it was the chalk paint marker, and I ended up just highlighting the words. I thought, okay, this is not where I intended to go with this project, but I'm just going to roll with it. So you'll see here that I just keep, going over with the chalk and then smearing away, but then I just take my paint marker and I just highlight those words. So next, I'm just going to use this eucalyptus that I had in my stash, and I'm going to hot glue it to my sign. Now, I really like the route that I ended up going with this because it just took this sign looking from kind of cheesy to a higher end farmhouse looking sign. So the next thing I do is I go in with this Dollar Tree ribbon. I love this ribbon. I just tie a simple bow and I hot glue that to the eucalyptus. And I also like that I left the chalk smudges around the words. I think it just kind of gave it character, maybe a little dimension. Again, just going with that whole farmhouse look. Anyway, I ended up liking it. I hope you like it too. For our third and final DIY, this project is so super easy. I ended up picking up this piece of wood from Hobby Lobby, and there's the dimensions right there. I just measured out how much I wanted, and I took it out to my garage and I cut it with my chop saw. So I think I ended up cutting this into two pieces. I think I've got one piece that ended up being like 5.5 inches long, and the other one's 4.5 inches, something like that. I know the numbers will pop up on the screen here in just a second. So then I just go in with my sanding sponge and then just smooth everything out. Of course, got some wood that is kind of sticking out a little bit from when I cut it. So I'm just smoothing out the edges and all the rough spots. So the next thing I do is I just take my Waverly White chalk paint and I gave this one coat of paint. So here is how they both look with just one coat of paint, and then I'm going back in with my sanding sponge and just going to go ahead and distress both of these. Now you can do this as little as much as you want. It is up to you. And you can actually change this project up to fit your decor, whether you want to do white paint or if you want to do red or pink or whatever colors you want, choice is yours. So now I have these wood beads that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, and I believe they were $4.99, but 40% off coupon. There you go. So I'm just going to hot glue these to the top of my wood pieces, and they are going to become a couple. Doesn't that sound adorable? Now this is a Pinterest inspired DIY. Y'all probably have seen this already. I just thought this was so adorable. I just had to do it. And it was just as easy as getting some hot glue on the end of that, putting the little heads on there. And like I said, you can customize this to whatever fits your decor needs. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of hot glue in between there. Now, keep in mind, they are not going to sit side by side as close as they did before because of the short one. The head is like kind of in the way if you want to shift it yours over a little bit, or just you know, they hold up just fine. So I just put a little bit of hot glue at the bottom right there, and they held together just fine. And then after that, I'm just going to go ahead with some jute twine and wrap them up together. So they're going to be pretty secure. It's okay if there's only a little bit of hot glue at the bottom there. So there's the jute twine right there. And then I'm just going to wrap a bunch of times, however many times you want, and secure it with some hot glue. Again with the hearts from Dollar Tree. I really love these. I'm finding so many uses for them. So I'm just going to go ahead. I start off with using the larger red heart, and I was just kind of moving it around trying to figure out, and I ended up feeling like it was just too big. So I ended up ditching that one and I went with the smaller red heart, and I think that was a little bit more proportionate. And then I just hot glued that into place, and then this project was done. Y'all, I want to thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps my channel to grow. Also, don't forget that playlist that's down at the bottom, and y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye.